Good morning, everyone. Happy Diwali for all the viewers, for all the support that you have been giving in the past 3 to 4 months that we have started our psychoeducation series. Today, we are entering into a different topic which could be of interest to both children as well as adults. So, the healing benefits of art and art therapy in children as well as adults. So in this episode, we are going to look at how art as a creative process helps young children for their development in different areas, and also art as a therapy process, how it can help different child clients as well as adult clients in different conditions. So this is the topic for today. Art. The initial recordings of art are more than 40,000 years ago as a way of expression, as a way of communication, and also as a way of self-understanding. So art is used mainly as a communication. It does not require much sophistication of the complex language. So here in children, the introduction of art has great value in their brain development, especially with young children, where the young children are more interested in the doing the artwork rather than what product it brings. So here art is used where multiple senses, like there is vision involved, there is hearing involved, there is touch, there are smells of the colors involved. So this is a multi-sensory kind of an experience which makes the young children engross, and then they are happy using different colors. So this is basically in general about what art can do for young children. Art, especially for young children, helps in their neurotransmitters and neurological development, helps them to become more flexible and more adaptable as they are growing into adulthood. We'll look into the details a short little later. So we'll mainly focus on how for young children. When I say young children, I am mainly looking at children of where there is an active brain growth between as young as babies till 10 to 12 years of age. So for babies as well as toddlers below 3 years age, kids generally, art is mainly a process oriented. What is process oriented? The child actually enjoys using the colors, actually enjoys seeing how the different shapes and forms that it is producing, especially if you look at visual arts or painting or colors, that for that matter. For a little preschooler, or between the age of 3 to 5 years, mainly they are more of an experimental group. They are more young scientists where they want to try out and kind of produce artwork which they can't see. It's more like an imagination, what the young kids are, as they are very rich in imagination, they try to kind of put their imaginations in a visual form. That is mainly for the preschoolers. Looking at school going children, they are more product oriented. If you look at a little older children, generally they like to name the give title, name different kind of what they are doing, and they want to give it a kind of more details that are included, minor details that are included. So they are more keen on what is the outcome or the final product, especially with the older children. So if you look at developmentally how this art helps for the development of young children in different aspects. If you look at the physical aspect or the physical development of young children, mainly there is, like I said, there is multi-sensory involvement, especially the motor as well as fine motor skills in young children are involved by using these different colors, crayons and pencils. Mainly physically, it helps them in improving their writing skills at a little later when they start attending the school program. So physically, it helps for improving their motor skills, gross motor as well as also fine motor skills. Looking at emotionally, young children are, where there is a limitation in their language expression, using art as a means of expressing their emotions, the happiness or sadness or anger, different emotions in a very safe environment, it helps them to express their emotional feelings. Art also as an intellectual, it helps improve their imagination, and it also helps them kind of working on their brain plasticity, neuroplasticity of the brain. Like I said, it improves their, as they are moving on into their young towards socializing kind of school kind of environment, it helps them for better adjustment with the peer and socially the sharing, and it is more like a kind of preliminary kind of benefit that helps them for the social learning process, sharing with other kids, being part or cooperative with other kids. All these kind of functions, both emotionally as well as socially, help them to prepare. Intellectually, it helps them for the kind of, using the whole brain for the development of the brain, especially for the observation, improving their observation skills and a little more details in their environment. All these skills intellectually helps young children. And like I said, socially, it helps them. And imaginations, their imaginations, young kids are very rich in their imagination power. It gives a vent, artwork gives a vent for their imagination, where which young child has limitation in their languages. So these are the various benefits and how the various functions are performed by art in young children. So let us look at the art as a therapy process. So when we say art therapy, so what is this therapy or what is the counseling related to the art is something that is interesting for hopefully for all of you to know. So art is used, like I said, if you look at the general functions that we have described regarding the art, so the same functions are in a much more productive and much more functional way we use in art therapy. Children who are having kind of difficulty in expressing their language, or for that matter intellectual limitations, for them expressing themselves in the artwork is much more safer and much more easier way. And art helps the children as a way of communication. They are better in communicating their feelings, not only the feelings of happiness, otherwise general feelings. They are good at, especially children having issues with the anger and acting out children where they have problems with high impulsive behaviors. Art is a best medium of kind of toning them and helping them in order to channelize their destructive energies into much more productive energies. And children who are especially socially shy and having again difficulties in socializing, art helps as a medium of sharing and building the teamwork, and tunes them towards a much more comfortable social learning process. So art also can help emotionally disturbed children for the having a depression or having, like I said, anger issues, or for that matter as early as shy and anxiety kind of issues. Art helps as a medium of giving ventilation to their negative feelings, and also helps them as a way of healing themselves by communicating in a much more safer and much more kind of productive environment. Art is always gives something in colors or something that is more vibrant for the um, children to look at the end of their work, and it is very satisfying for them, uh, along with the benefit of expressing their emotions. So these are the varied functions how art can help. And looking at who are the children, which kind of child clients who can benefit from this artwork. Mainly children having hyperactivity and attention deficit disorders. So art helps as a medium of improving their attention skills and concentration skills. And also children, like I said, having depression, it helps them to bring them to the outer world and help them to understand their feelings and give vent to their sad feelings, because unlike adults, children cannot express their feelings in terms of language. So the mainly the expression of troubled feelings when they are depressed or when they are angry, art helps as a best medium of expression. So hyperactive children, children having intellectual limitations, children who are acting out, having anger issues, all these children having socially shy, and children who are socially a little anxious to face the adult, or interacting with their own peer group, all these groups of children can be benefited much with different kinds of art. So, what are the different kinds of art? Art does not necessarily mean only painting and juggling or painting with the colors. Art can be artwork and art therapy. Work can be a wide variety of activities, like sand play is an art, a classical dance is an art, instrumental as well as vocal music is an art, mandala drawings for a little older group, simple mandala drawings, where towards the end of this video, I shall give you the slides which will help you to look at some idea, to look at what are the different kinds of artworks and what are the benefits associated with that. So there are different kinds of arts, visual arts, mainly the painting as well as working with the quilling material. All these will help the young children to experiment different kind of art material, and they are happy, in working with the art or expressing themselves more comfortably in the art form. So, looking at how art therapy can help adult clients or clients who are having issues in psychological issues as well as physical medical issues, how art therapy can be beneficial. So art therapy can be useful, especially clients again having the depression and anxiety issues. It is a way of helping them to understand their feelings and expressing or communicating their depressed feelings. And art, as I said, always gives a product. The final product is much more kind of satisfying for the person, and it can lift one's mood from the kind of low sad mood to at least to the normal or a little bit of happiness, that they are able to express their feelings. So it is more as a kind of ventilation and expressing their feelings in depressed and anxiety clients. And in senior citizens having lost their friends or not having an active routine, for senior citizens, artwork kind of like say photography or for that simple artwork of painting and quilling kind of arts based on their interest, different hobbies that they can develop. Even gardening can be one form of an artwork, which will help them to engage more meaningfully, and it also helps them to bring back their self, active self, when they are more productive age. So that is for the senior citizens, how art can be helpful. So art can also be helpful for stress relief. Very important function of artwork as a way of relieving the stress of day-to-day daily hassles, as well as whenever there is a built-up stress, especially the artworks related to knitting and sewing. These kind of artworks mainly help in order to de-stress and help them to kind of relax much more in these stressful conditions. So art can also be meditative. So art, where especially when you are engrossed in the details of the art making, where you are including minor details, the artwork can be especially have a meditative effect, focusing and looking at the details with much more concentration can completely engross oneself into much more kind of what happens in the meditation. So art can also give you that feel good kind of hormone. If you look at from a neuro plasticity perspective, dopamine is the hormone. We call it feel good hormone, which helps in making the person or making the person feel good about oneself. So art is always a kind of work that can help to kind of improve the communication between the neuronal cells by this neurotransmitter called dopamine. And it is also helpful for decreasing the cortisol, which will be more higher when the person is going through stress. So for the neurotransmitter brain plasticity also, the art is one important medium. And not only that, in medical conditions where chronic medical conditions like stroke, in Alzheimer's, a kind of condition where there are memory and intellectual issues coming up, art can be a best medium to kind of bring the neuronal connections of their past memories and help them retrieve the memories of the past. So, and art can also help in kind of help them to decrease this burden of their chronic conditions, health conditions, by temporarily forgetting their health issues, and help them in engrossing in a much more productive activity. Not the least, art also kind of improves the empathy, as well as the way that you socially relate to others in a socially interactive situation. So looking at the different benefits of the art, one can easily understand how art not only helps young children, but also all kinds of clinical, non-clinical groups. Art is a best medium of expressing oneself in a very comfortable way, in a very safe way. So this is what that I wanted to communicate, and I'll complete today's session with a little bit of kind of quotations that I have collected. So Leonardo da Vinci is supposedly a painter, has explained how art can perform 10 functions of the eyes. Art can help the 10 functions of eyes to understand the darkness, light, body, color, shape, location, distance, closeness, motion, as well as rest. So one important point about art is meditation, as well as the movement itself, especially when we look at from the healing perspective. Generally, clients having depression or anxiety have very restricted movements of the body. So art as a way of moving, using multi-sensory approach, and art itself helps the person motivate, and the movement that happens by doing the artwork itself is considered to be a very healing process. So a final word, as the famous painter artist Picasso says, art washes from the soul the dust of everyday life. So this is what I would kind of wanted to present in this episode. I hope that this episode will help not only young children, for all age groups. And once again, I wish you all a happy and colorful and safe Diwali. Thank you.